Good morning. It's Monday, April 29th, and this morning I want to talk about free speech and an episode that happened at the University of Southern California, known as USC. USC chose its valedictorian and then proceeded to silence her. The valedictorian that they selected was Asna Tabassum, and she had a grade point average of 3.98. But she wasn't alone in that category. The school said there were over 200 students that qualified to be valedictorian. But I believe that the university went ahead and selected her for her nationality and possibly her political positions. And they selected her to be the valedictorian on April 2nd. And they admitted that she had contributions to the campus community, she submitted essays, and she had very good performance in the interviews. And she also minored in resistance to genocide, studies about conflicts including the war in the Ukraine and genocide in Darfur. And in addition to those episodes, this curriculum included the Holocaust. And so she was selected from this group of highly qualified students. Now, I did a lot of public speaking in my career, but not at the age of 21 or 22. If somebody had asked me to speak in public at that particular time, I would have failed miserably. It takes a lot of chutzpah, a lot of self-assurance. You need a lot of self-assurance to stand up in front of a group of people and speak. And there's no question in my mind, Tabassum had that quality. She was capable of speaking to an audience of several hundred or several thousand, because I'm under the impression that the University of Southern California had its graduation exercise in the football stadium. At least that's what the article seemed to point at. So why did they infer this special criteria to Tabassum and then quickly took it away? So the critics begin to speculate that USC was kowtowing to a pro-Israel group or several pro-Israel groups and people who complained about Tabassum being selected as the valedictorian. Now, it's true on every great college campus there are many organizations, pros and cons on every angle, every political situation you could imagine. And I know for a fact that Israel is constantly under attack on these universities. Even though they have organizations that defend Israel, Israel has become a target on many universities. So maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe the University of Southern California's Israeli supporters were against Tabassum being selected as the valedictorian. Maybe they thought she was going to be harmful to Jewish students or potentially activate the sentiments of the anti-Jewish activists that exist on all college campuses and exist in all portions of the United States and the world. And it's true that on the USC campus there's a group called Trojans for Israel, and they complained openly about Tabassum being anti-Semitic and anti-Zionist based upon talks she had made in the past. But Tapassim told the TV stations that even though she received hatred and vitriol for including a link in her website called the Free Palestinian Card.company, and she had those types of sentiments on her Instagram profile also. So you can see that possibly those who selected the valedictorian didn't do all their homework. Because also on the page of her website contained a woman with holding up a Palestinian flag and a peace sign rising above flames and smoke, and there were many links to help visitors learn about what's happening in Palestine. So there's no question in the minds of the senior members of the faculty at USC where Tapassim's real loyalties lie. And maybe after they selected her, they were afraid of what she was liable to say in her speech. Because we have seen this happening before. Valedictorians have gone off on anti-Semitic rages. And USC was probably worried about that. And of course, USC has a Shabbat that argued that the linked website called for the abolishment of the state of Israel, and called the words on the website anti-Semitic and hate speech, even though Tapassim did not create those words. Tapassim has come out and said that she believes there was a campaign of racist hatred on the part of anti-Muslim and anti-Palestine voices. And that's why they took her away from making the graduation address. They were afraid of her addressing her peers at commencement due to her uncompromising belief in human rights for all. Now, this is all supposition. We don't really know if the university dug deep and found everything, but they were afraid of bad publicity, of course, and probably afraid of the effect that this would have on their donation dollars. I am sure they have many donors of many different persuasions, and some of those donors could be affected by whatever comes out of this story. And so they rescinded their invitation to be the commencement speaker. And meanwhile, there's other chaos going on that university, and who even knows if there's going to be a commencement exercise. So I leave you with one of the terrible situations that's going on in this country. Anti-Semitism, afraid of having public speakers come out with the wrong words, a total mess. Have a great day. Bye.